our final presentation for today. We have Rita Dai. She's an EAP teacher at Monash College, and she's also a PhD candidate in education at Deakin University. And today she's going to present In Their Shoes, what Chinese students' perspectives on privacy teaches about AI literacy in the EAP classroom. So welcome, Rita. Looking forward to your
Hello.
presentation.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Gabriel. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining my session today. My name is Rita, and I'm an English teacher from Monash College. And at the same time, I'm doing my doctoral research. I'm looking at AI privacy and digital governance in education. So today, I'm taking you to be in the shoes of Chinese international students to understand how they see the digital privacy and what it means for us as EAP teachers. So before we get started, I'd like you to pause and think about a small question about digital privacy. What's one thing you would never share publicly online? The answers might be different from different people, and you can type this in the chat box, and also you can keep the answer in your mind, because for many of our Chinese students, that instinctive line between what is shareable and what is private is shaped by deep cultural, social, and political values. This is also what the research is about. So in our EAP classrooms today, digital tools are reshaping everything. We're using ChatGPT, Perplexity.ai, and Turnitin, and many systems, and everywhere and every day. Sometimes we even don't think about what happens to the data in the process. And at the same time, Chinese students are one of the largest international student cohort in Australia. This means that their habits, cultural expectations, and comfort levels with data collection may directly shape how they engage with classes in Australia as well. But here is the key point. Privacy is not the universal thing. It's not the same thing across cultures. What we understand as personal boundaries may not be what our students experience and understand. So it's worth pausing and think about, what does privacy actually mean to our students? What and how might their cultural backgrounds influence how they experience digital tools in the classrooms? Okay, so to understand it, we need to look at a very long story of Chinese story of privacy, which is a little bit different from the Western context. Traditionally, privacy in China wasn't framed around individual autonomy as the way it is in Australia. Confucian ethics emphasized the social harmony, family obligations, and the collective goods. There is not an idea of protecting the individual right. They don't understand the privacy as that. It was more about maintaining relationship and avoiding social conflicts. So when we come to the digital era, it is the same. So China has a very strong state-led governance, and people usually have trust institutions, and privacy thus is relational but not individual. People usually ask, will this affect my family, my group, my reputation? But not, is my individual right protected? So we should pay attention to this small nuance here. Uh, this is this is what is happening in China. And I'd like to raise up this issue with a small example. A clear example of this cultural attitude appeared during the COVID-19 pandemic. And I think we all have the memories about it. In China, most people were willing to share their personal information, such as the travel history, health status, location data, because they believed it helped protect the community and maintain the social stability. Rather than seeing it as a loss of privacy, many saw it as a collective responsibility. This mindset still influences how students think about data today, including in our EAP classrooms. Okay, so this presentation actually draws on my doctoral research about AI impacts and how AI is reshaping the education system. A key part of that work is looks at how Chinese students understand digital privacy and how their cultural values and governance experience influence the way they respond to AI tools in the classrooms. I will just report several of the findings, which are very important. The first one is what I call privacy paradox. Chinese students often express that privacy is important to them, but in reality, sometimes convenience usually wins. Just as some students said, our data is collected everywhere, not just in education, so I don't care. Or I care about data privacy, but I have no choice. These apps make my life easier. So there's a tension here. They value privacy, but they also feel powerless to control their data. As a result, they prioritize tools that help them to study, even if they are unsure where the data goes. And next finding is quite interesting. Is that they have strong trust in the institutions, in the government, and also in the universities. Many Chinese students assume that large organizations such as our colleges or universities will use their data responsibly. One student put it very simply, I believe that laws and regulations will solve the information privacy problem. This trust means students always feel safe using digital tools as long as the university recommends them. So the platforms we choose in the classroom and how we introduce them carry a lot of weight in shaping their sense of security. And the third one is that most of the Chinese students have an optimistic embrace of AI. Most students see AI as helpful, efficient, and inevitable life of modern education. As one student shared, I think that the acceptance of AI in China is relatively high. And also, they say, just like the concern of privacy does not affect my support anymore because they generally have a very positive attitudes for AI. Even when some students worry about data, their concern really stops them from using AI tools. For many, AI is simply part of daily life and its benefits outweighs the perceived risks. This is also how I experience using AI tools in my English classes. And the last finding I want to share here today is about invisible controllers behind the screen. This is very, very interesting because some students start concerning about not just about the technology itself, but more concerned about people and commercial interests behind it. And this is also what most of the critical studies about AI tools and generative AI today are caring about. One student said, I'm not worried about AI itself, but I'm more worried about people and the capitalist interests driving its manipulation. And also, what another added, the individuals or groups controlling the AI system should be responsible for the privacy violations. And this finding shows that students are aware there are powerful actors behind the technology, but they have limited clarity about who these actors are and how the data is used. The uncertainty shapes how they participate in digital learning environment. So after looking at the four findings from what I say in the Chinese data, we can see a very clear pattern between the Western values of privacy and Chinese privacy. In Western countries, privacy is granted in individual rights, personal autonomy, and protection from institutional oversight. Students are encouraged to question how their data is collected, to expect transparency from companies and universities. However, for Chinese students, it is shaped by collective values and state-led governance. People tend to trust large institutions more, and data collection is often seen as necessary for special order and convenience. So when Chinese students enter an Australia classroom, they're navigating in two different privacy philosophies. Understanding this can help us to support them more sensitively when using AI and digital tools in the classroom. What does all of this mean for us as EAP teachers? First, it's very important to recognize that privacy is culturally shaped, not universal. And this is the most important point in today's presentation. And second, we can create trust-based spaces where students have real choices, whether it's opting out for certain tools or using some VOTAC alternatives for several students, or deciding how much personal information they want to share, just to give them more space to choose. And third, we need to use AI tools transparently and ethically, obviously. And fourth, we can encourage some critical reflection. This is also what I usually do in my classroom. Ask students to think about how surveillance, identity, or digital footprints shape their learning experience, just to trigger such critical thinkings about their data privacy. And I think you'll get some surprise from their answers sometimes. Finally, we can link privacy discussions to academic integrity and technical concern as well in some of the speaking or writing classrooms. And this is also helpful to build their global citizenship. Here is some simple activities I used in my classroom, and maybe you can find it helpful or give you some inspirations. You can ask students like in a warm-up game, what kind of things do you not want to share online? Why? Just as a warm-up conversation before the class begins. Or optionally add, do people in different cultures have different ideas about privacy? This focus is language for giving opinions. You can use sentences such as, I prefer not to share because blah, 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 while also building the trust and safe-facing cultural perspective in a low-stake way. Okay, to wrap up, privacy is not technical, it's cultural and relational. Students interpret it through their backgrounds, not just through policies. And also understanding Chinese students' perspectives help build trust and inclusion in our EAP classroom. Third, even small activities such as warm-up or short reflections, especially for students who we are preparing them for the uni, can open meaningful conversations about privacy and their digital life. And finally, weaving privacy topics into our lessons strengthens students' language skills, digital literacy, and also intellectual awareness. And I'd like to close this presentation from a quote from Sun Yat-sen. I like it very much. The more we understand one another, the less we feel. When we take time to understand our students' cultural perspective, especially on something as sensitive, we create classroom built on trust, empathy, and genuine connection, especially in such an AI-powered era today. Thank you so much. And that's the end of the presentation. I'm open to the questions. And I would be happy to connect with everyone. And I'm also happy to continue the conversation about the AI, digital governance, and EAP teaching. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Rita. That was an excellent presentation. Someone in the chat is asking to get a link to your research. Is there anything available at the moment that you can share with us?
Yes, I think I got an ORCID, and I do have several publications on AI governance and digital privacy issues. Maybe I will but yes, so maybe I can. Could you please just write me an email maybe after the symposium, and I can share my research profile with
Yeah,
you?
oh, that'd be amazing. We could even reach out to you through the TechSig, and when Sophie shares the slides, we can add, reference to some of your
Yes,
research.
thank you so much. Yes,
Very
and my
interesting.
contact information is also on the slide, and feel free to contact me. I'm happy to have the talk over AI and EAP teaching.
Thank you. Good, and good luck with your PhD as well.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. We are just a little bit behind schedule. Well, we finished, but first of all, as we wrap up this 2025 symposium, we would like to thank all the speakers who have devoted their time, their expertise to share and nurture the community. And thank you to everyone who has also joined us and participated during over the last couple of days to learn more and continue developing professionally in this important and always changing area of EdTech. Before we finish, we would like to give you a quick feedback survey. Sophie, I think she will be sharing the link in the chat, which we thought would be the easiest way to, there it is. So there's a link in the chat to a survey. Very short. If you could please complete that, and when you're ready, just send me an okay in the chat so I know that we've finished. And once that most of you have finished, I'll just give you an update on what's coming for the rest of the year, because even though the year is almost finished, we still have a little bit more left to offer here at the EdTech SIG. So finish the survey and just bear with us for a minute, and we'll give you an update on what's coming. Thank you. Can see some okays there. It's really good. Thank you, Alexandra. Thank you, Michael. Just going to give another minute. Thanks, Paul. Okay. Well, good. Before we lose everyone, I know we're ready to go, but as I said before, we still have another activity before the end of the year with the EdTech SIG, and it's a third session for our community of practice. We started this PACE for those of you who have not participated yet or have not heard about it maybe. It's just a very relaxed, informal setting where we come together, we share ideas connected to particularly AI. So this is an artificial intelligence community of practice, and everyone is welcome. Again, it's more conversational, sharing what we're doing, how we're doing it, what's best practice, what's working, what's not working when using AI. We have had 2 sessions already focused on custom GPTs and agents. Christy, one of our conveners, delivered the previous session. And then what we're going to do this last time is just to sort of wrap up the third part of this sequence, where we're going to invite people who have been experimenting, playing around with GPTs to share what they've done and have a little bit of feedback. So that is what's happening. This will be on the 27th of November from 2 to 3 p.m. and Sophie is sharing the screen there, and I think the link has also been sent in the chat, so you can register. And another good idea that I would recommend is also subscribing to the EdTech SIG mailing list. Maybe Sophie, if you want to explain that one as well, and then close for today.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Thank you.
if you would like to subscribe to the EdTech SIG mailing list, you can do it from the English Australia website at the SIG webpage. I think someone will pop that into the chat for you now as well. But yeah, I was just going to wrap up today by firstly thanking all of our amazing speakers. It's great to run symposia because really we get a pulse check of what's happening in our classrooms at particular moments. And I think that's exactly what this symposium did. It was fantastic to hear from people who are using AI in their English language classrooms. So thank you to our speakers. Thank you to everybody for attending. It was a really lively group in the chat. So thank you so much for bringing all of your energy and ideas along. And finally, thank you to our EdTech SIG conveners who really made this event happen. They curated a fantastic program and worked really hard behind the scenes to bring the EdTech Symposium to you. So thank you so much to Gabrielle, to Christy, and to Casey. All right, well, hopefully we'll see you at the EdTech COP, and let's stay in touch via the EdTech SIG. Thanks to everybody and have a great afternoon.
Thank you, everyone. See you next time.
Thank you, everyone.